People say you could be great. They mean it as a compliment. But for me, it sounds more like a threat. I hear it like an unfinished sentence, an accusation wrapped in hope, a promise with a clock ticking behind it. You could be great, which means right now I'm not. Just a blueprint, just a maybe, just a draft. And drafts are so easy to throw away. I've been haunted by my own potential, by the versions of me that live only in other people's minds. The more disciplined version, the more productive one, the one who wakes up early, finishes projects, keeps promises, never hesitates. The ghost version of me. Perfect, silent, unreal. I spend more time chasing that version than I do creating anything real. Because potential is a paradox. It's meant to lift you, but it presses down. It's meant to encourage you, but it accuses you. It tells you there's something amazing inside you, but if you haven't proven it yet, maybe it's not really there. No one ever says you could be great to someone who already is. It's a placeholder. It's a bookmark in a story you haven't written yet. It's a compliment laced with pressure. And that pressure isn't loud. It's quiet, like static behind every creative thought. You want to try something new, but then the phrase echoes, "You could be great." And then suddenly, you're not making art anymore. You're making expectations. You're making a checklist that your work has to live up to. You're creating to impress a version of yourself that doesn't exist. And how do you win against someone who's never made a mistake? You don't. You just stall. You just stare. You just scroll. Because at least when you're not making anything, you haven't disappointed anyone yet. I've deleted projects I loved because I didn't think they were great enough. Not good enough. Not honest. Not personal. Great. And I don't even know what that means. But I know what it feels like to miss it. To finish something and feel hollow. Because it didn't match the fire in my head. Because someone once said I had potential. And this wasn't it. So I let it sit, unpublished, unseen. Not because it wasn't real, but because it wasn't worthy. I've avoided starting at all, because the blank page felt safer than the imperfect one. Because mediocrity feels like betrayal when someone told you you were special. When your childhood was full of praise and your adulthood is full of silence, you start to wonder if maybe your potential expired. Maybe greatness had a window and you missed it. I've spent entire days doing nothing, then punishing myself for it. Not because I was lazy, but because I was terrified that what I made wouldn't measure up. And what's worse is, I've convinced myself that perfection is the proof of value. That if it's not excellent, it's not worth doing. That my worth is in the outcome, not in the act of trying. But perfectionism isn't a standard. It's a defense mechanism. It protects us from shame, from judgment, from becoming the disappointment everyone is quietly bracing for. And now we live in a world where even potential feels automated, where tools can imitate your best work before you even had time to write your worst, where scripts, ideas, art, voice, rhythm can be replicated by a machine trained on everything you've ever done. And when people say, "That sounds just like you," you can't even tell if that's praise anymore. Because now, even your voice isn't yours. You're just competing with your ideal self. You're competing with a synthetic version that doesn't get tired, doesn't get blocked, doesn't feel fear. Just endless drafts, all perfect, all meaningless. And that breaks something. Because if you spent your life being told you're full of potential, and now machines can replicate that potential without even trying, what does that make you? Just a rough draft? The outdated file? The organic error? But even then, even after the burnout, the freeze, the paralysis, the ghost chasing, something in me still wants to try. Not for greatness, not for recognition, not for legacy, just to make something that wasn't there before, just to feel like I'm still real, like I still matter. Sometimes I write badly on purpose, just to prove that I still can. Just to remind myself that trying isn't something the world gets to measure. I've written lines that never went anywhere, drawn sketches that no one will ever see, recorded voice notes that I deleted a minute later. And those pieces of nothing, they mattered because they were mine. Because they weren't chasing greatness. They were just breathing. And that's enough. Maybe the curse of potential isn't the pressure to be great. Maybe it's the belief that you have to be great all the time. But you don't. You just have to be here. You just have to begin. Potential is not a prophecy. It's a possibility. It doesn't have to be fulfilled all at once or at all. It's okay to grow slowly, to create quietly, to fall in love with your work, even when no one's watching, even when it's messy, especially when it's messy. Because greatness isn't some towering destination. It's just a fact of continuing, or trying again, of showing up when you don't feel like you're enough. If you've ever felt like your potential was a prison, I get it. I'm still unlocking the door. But lately, I've started to believe that freedom isn't found in achieving greatness. It's found in releasing the need to chase it. Because if greatness ever finds me, I hope it's not because I forced it, or faked it, or bled myself dry trying to deserve it. I hope it's because I finally stopped chasing it and started creating anyway. If you liked the video, please subscribe and tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, if I'm right. Tell me anything. But remember, thank you for giving me your time today. Peace.